Click the Close File clip to step away from the story. Click the bookmark to save your place in the story and return to the cover page. To go forward in the story, move the bat symbol to the lower right corner of the page. When the paper flips up, click. To go backward, move the bat symbol to the lower left corner. When you see a colored word in the story, click on it for a dictionary definition. Click on colored bat symbols to see movies and pictures. Click the Reader panel to have the story read to you. To stop the reader, click Stop. Don't forget the word activities in the lower right corner of the screen. You'll find a new one on each page. Part 1. At Arkham Asylum, good behavior was the best path to an early parole. But for some residents, reforming their wicked ways was anything but simple. Batman knew this. He also knew Edward Nygma. He knew that Nygma could easily fool Arkham's parole board. So when Batman learned that Nygma was free, he and Robin decided to follow his trail. In Gotham City, the darkness and silence of the night create a playground for mischief. On the night after Nygma's parole, Batman and Robin set their sights on another playground of sorts, the International Toy Fair. They saw two thugs visiting this home of fun and games. The men were carrying a questionable box, and the Riddler was giving them orders.
Impressive.
Only one man could override the Riddler's orders, and when the towering black cape loomed above them, the men scattered. But the Riddler just relaxed as Batman and Robin gathered his goons. Batman wanted answers, but they came from an unexpected onlooker. Charles Baxter, president of the Wacko Toy Corporation, demanded that his new employee be released. The Riddler grinned. He gleefully popped open the box, revealing a new toy line of his own design. Unlike Baxter, Batman and Robin were not impressed with Riddler's notorious name or perplexing puzzle. They remained suspicious. Baxter didn't care if the Riddler had really reformed. His only concern was for his company's future profits.
Impressive.
Out of their costumes, Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson relaxed at Wayne Manor. Suddenly, a news report caught their attention. Newman Import and Export Company, a Gotham antiques dealer, had been burglarized. The owner sadly told of the ancient artifacts he had lost. Bruce recalled what Riddler had said about his Riddle crimes. Those were things of the past. Ancient history that's gone now. I'm a new man. To Dick, the connection seemed like a coincidence. But Bruce knew that the Riddler was still obsessed with outsmarting Batman. After watching a new wacko toy commercial, Bruce was convinced that Nigma had not reformed one bit. Part 2. Rain pelted Gotham. High above the financial district, Batman and Robin waited and waited. But there was no trace of the Riddler. Batman checked the number he had written down from the Riddler's commercial. He had thought it was a set of map coordinates. Then he remembered how the Riddler had flipped over a map. Batman did the same to the numbers. It was an address. At 10 Leslie Avenue, Riddler's henchmen were committing a high-rise heist. The Riddler himself was far away, hosting a party to celebrate. Through a toy communicator, he heard that Batman had not caught his henchmen.
Not a sign of him anywhere, Mr. Enigma.
His riddle was working. Even better, with his new toys, he would become a star on the honest side of the law, the corporate world. As Riddler's men prepared to leave 10 Leslie, the shadow of a bat stretched across the room. There was nowhere to run. And with Batman's quick reflexes, there was no way to shoot. If only Robin could have been as fast. While Batman struggled to free his young partner from a crushing cabinet, the looters were escaping, they thought.
Congratulations.
The goons had nearly plunged to their death. But then they escaped in a getaway car. Batman decided to try a direct approach. Meanwhile, in his apartment, the Riddler was enjoying the benefits of popularity and money. When he took a phone call in a private room, he discovered an uninvited guest. Batman wanted to give him fair warning. The party was over. With his henchmen at his side, the Riddler slouched, staring out at Gotham. Every alley, every ledge, every shadow. The Dark Knight would be everywhere. His sorrow turned to rage. There's only one person who's ever been able to challenge me. Batman. He's the only one worthy of my game. The Riddler could think of only one thing to cure his obsession. And it wasn't a treatment at Arkham Asylum. Part 3.
Impressive.
It was time for another wacko commercial, another Riddler clue. Wouldn't it be great to be a kid again? The Riddler smirked into the camera. Well, you can recapture your childhood with wacko toys. Then he pitched his wicked message to Batman. Go back to where it all started, with toys. He knew exactly where the Riddler was telling Batman to go. That night, at the Gotham Convention Center, Batman dropped onto the Toy Fair floor. Fabulous, outrageous, oversized playthings were everywhere. But where was Nigma? Before long, the first of the Riddler's perilous pranks appeared. And then another. Batman approached a Titanic television set. When he switched it on, he discovered Riddler's final, explosive clue. I always feel sad at funerals, Edward Nigma said, tossing his Riddler costume into his fireplace. He thought he had defeated the Dark Knight finally. Part of me has died tonight, so it is time to move on. But like his outfit, Nigma's victory was toast. Batman was quite alive. He had escaped the explosion, and nothing or no one would prevent him from nabbing Nigma now. Helpless in Batman's grip, Nigma wanted to know how Batman survived, but Batman wouldn't tell him how he escaped the explosion. Nigma begged. Then he bargained. You tell me what I want to know, he said, and I'll tell you what you want to know. Nigma added, I'll even tell you how I committed all those robberies. Deal? Batman scowled. No.
Congratulations.
Batman put a Riddler communicator to his mouth. "Did you hear that?" he said. Commissioner Gordon certainly had. He burst into the room, 2 officers in tow, and a toy communicator in his hand. Now he had all the evidence he needed to put Nigma away. Nigma didn't seem to care. He still wanted answers from Batman, but he wasn't getting any. Back at Wayne Manor, Dick heard the good news. Nigma's henchmen had told the police where all the stolen goods were, and even agreed to help convict their boss. "What I don't get," Dick said to Bruce, "is how you escaped that explosion." The explanation was as simple as a safe is strong.
Congratulations.
But it was a secret that a certain someone would never know. Why did Charles Baxter hire the Riddler?
You're so close. You're so close.
Congratulations.
How did Batman discover the number's true meaning?
You're so close. Impressive.
What did Batman use to help Commissioner Gordon get Nigma?
You're so close.
Congratulations.
Riddler's concentration. Click the Riddler's hats to see what he's stolen and stashed. Batman could nab Enigma only when all the items are matched.
There's only one person who's ever been able to challenge me. Batman!
This is it. The end of the game.
Are you sure you want to close Riddler's concentration?
Interesting.
Part 1. Inside Arkham Asylum, not all residents longed for a life on the outside. For them, solitude was a refuge. For Victor Fries, solitude was the only reality. He always had to be confined in his icy cell or in his special suit. His horrible history as Mr. Freeze had earned him a lengthy visit at the asylum. It also attracted a most unusual visitor.
Congratulations.
From the shores off Arkham Asylum, an armored mass of steel rose out of the sea and headed toward the asylum grounds. No barriers or brute force could stop the robot. Freeze could feel the shock waves from his cell. He peeked out the window, only to see that his tranquil existence was about to be shattered. Inside the Batcave, Batman and Robin studied pictures taken by Arkham Asylum's security cameras. "You've got to give Mr. Freeze credit," Robin joked. "That's the most original breakout this year." But Batman noticed the fear on Freeze's face and realized it was no escape stunt. Freeze was taken against his will, he said, and obviously by someone with expertise in robotics. Robin suggested they visit their own robotics expert, Carl Rossum. Carl Rossum was a curious little man. He preferred the company of his artificial friends over real people. But when Batman and Robin knocked at his door, he was happy to help. Batman showed him a picture of the robot that broke into Arkham. Rossum recognized it immediately. He had designed the M9 prototype for Grant Walker, a billionaire theme park mogul.
Congratulations.
Meanwhile at sea, Freeze didn't know if he had been kidnapped by an enemy or rescued by a friend. The M9 robot that held him was cruising toward an island. It was Grant Walker's city on water, Oceana. Inside, Walker looked on as his M9 climbed into a special cold chamber. The robot opened up, dropping Freeze at its feet. Freeze stood up. A spectacular view of Oceana surrounded him. "Impressive," he offered. Walker had impossible plans for Oceana. Impossible unless he got Mr. Freeze on his side. But Freeze said he couldn't care less about Oceana. Walker had studied his captive well, though. He knew precisely what Freeze did care about. He decided to save his secret until later. As Freeze was led away, Mr. Johnson, Walker's assistant, informed his boss that a boat was approaching. "Dispatch our usual deterrents," Walker said coolly. Out on the ocean, the bat boat raced toward Oceana. Robin couldn't believe that someone as famous as Walker would kidnap Freeze, but Batman knew how obsession could push a man to extreme acts, especially a rich man. Suddenly the radar showed 3 approaching objects. Above and underwater, the bat boat tried to dodge Walker's missiles. For a while, it succeeded. Part 2. Underwater, at the foot of Oceana, Batman and Robin made their entrance with a blowtorch. Inside, Walker had already put Freeze back into a new, chilling suit. But Mr. Freeze was not grateful. In the suit or in a cell, Freeze's condition was a curse. But it was exactly what Walker wanted for himself. Freeze had finally met a man whose heart was as numb as his. He angrily lifted Walker by his collar. "You want to live like me," Freeze growled, "abandoned and alone. Forever a prisoner in a world you can see but never touch." Freeze dropped Walker to the ground and walked away. "Old and infirm as you are, I'd trade 1,000 of my frozen years for your worst day." Walker grinned. "Actually, I have another kind of swap in mind." With that, he revealed his secret bargaining chip. And this time, Freeze could not refuse to help Walker.
Congratulations.
Under Oceana's dome, Batman and Robin surfaced from a waterway. Crowds of smiling Oceanans passed by, heading toward an assembly. Batman and Robin eluded Walker's security hovercraft, then climbed to the top of a tower to get a better look. They could see that Walker was the worst sort of lunatic. He wanted to extend his own life while destroying others. On a huge video screen, Walker comforted his followers. They would all be warm and snug inside Oceania, as the rest of the world was hit by his deep freeze, he said. In 5 years, they would get out to roam the earth and start a new master race. He's a madman, Batman said to Robin. Suddenly, the patrolling hovercraft discovered them. The machine's arms grasped, punched, and ripped at the crime fighters. Even with their skills and weapons, Batman and Robin were no match for the rustling robots. Soon they had to give up and listen to Walker's whole horrific speech. Then, like puppets, they were taken below Oceania. They learned that Mr. Freeze was apparently helping Walker after all. Part 3. Batman and Robin couldn't budge from their icy bonds. They couldn't stop Walker from turning himself into a horror, just like Mr. Freeze. They could only watch as Walker writhed, twisted, and jolted until the freezing process was over. Walker couldn't wait to launch his chilling global attack, but Mr. Freeze only cared about saving his wife. Mr. Freeze gazed at his love in the tank that kept her alive. Meanwhile, Batman tried to talk Freeze out of helping Walker. He described a frozen world, a dead world that Mr. Freeze was helping to create, a world that his wife would hate. "Silence!" Freeze shouted, blasting Batman and Robin backward. Freeze looked at his wife again. "Forgive me," he said to her at last. Then he turned away from her and set Batman and Robin free. Walker was itching to fire his cold blast cannon. He was pleased to see Mr. Freeze enter the room, but Mr. Freeze wasn't there to help. He fired his freeze gun at a line of Walker's robot workers. Then Batman and Robin burst into the control room. Robots and computers and ice chunks exploded everywhere. When it was over, Mr. Freeze exposed Oceania's main power core. But before he could overload it, Walker hit him from behind. "This is my dream!" Walker shouted, his voice distorting. "This is my vision! I cheated death to make this real!" Freeze had heard enough from the old man. He locked Walker in a chunk of ice and reached for the main power core. After he turned the knob, alarms and buzzers rang out. Mr. Freeze turned on the video camera. Under Oceania's dome, his face appeared on the towering screen. He told Walker's followers to leave the island immediately. His warning was followed by violent proof. Buildings began to tremble. Huge ice spikes grew from the ground. The end of Oceania was near. Before he left, Freeze added more ice to Walker's fateful prison. Walker's followers evacuated in droves. Batman and Robin prepared to leave, but Mr. Freeze refused to go with them. His wife was still inside. Batman's bat rope was not strong enough to restrain Freeze. "I'm the least of your worries," he told Batman. Then he iced Robin. "Take the boy and go."
Impressive.
Back inside, Mr. Freeze stood by his tragic wife as everything collapsed around them. In their evacuation boat, Batman rescued Robin as the city on water exploded. Bits and pieces of Oceania sank to the ocean floor. Descending among the fractured remnants of his illusion, the murderous Walker fumed.
Impressive.
Afterward, in the Batcave, Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson recovered from their adventure. Out of their costumes, they now enjoyed warm clothes and Alfred's hot cocoa. Dick thought of Walker. The old man would be encased forever in a chilling, twisted prison of his own making. Bruce thought of Mr. Freeze. He wondered where he was, and if their paths would ever cross again. Far away, floating in a watery field of icebergs, Mr. Freeze also thought of someone. She was his love, whom he could see, but never touch. Who did Batman and Robin visit to ask about the mysterious robot?
You're so close. You're so close.
Congratulations.
How did Walker get Mr. Freeze to help him?
Congratulations.
What changed Mr. Freeze's mind about helping Walker?
Congratulations.
Mr. Freeze is as clever as he is cold. Not only has he buried Batman's pictures in ice, but he's hidden secret objects in them as well. Can you pick out your favorite character's prized possessions? Find the New Picture button and click it to begin. Crime fighting is hard work. Can you find some of Batman and Robin's trusty hardware? Gotham City's villains are known for more than their cruel crimes. Find their treacherous trademarks. Gotham City's finest are known for more than their good deeds. Can you find their favorite items? Even the cold at heart have needs. Can you find what belongs to Mr. Freeze? Congratulations! You have found all the hidden items in all the pictures. But be warned, after you leave, Mr. Freeze may freeze them again. Are you sure you want to close Mr. Freeze's iced picks? Part 1. Harley Quinn's past was as checkered as her tights. She had been obnoxious, mischievous, and even worse, a member of the Joker's gang of criminals. Fortunately, behind her devilish diamond-decorated duds, there beat a heart of gold. Her good behavior at Arkham Asylum was about to pay off in spades.
Congratulations.
In Dr. Leyland's office, Harley sat patiently in patient-issue pajamas. "You've made wonderful progress," Dr. Leyland said proudly. "Tomorrow you'll be released mentally sane and sound." Harley leapt and bounded like a loony cheerleader.
Yay! Yay! Yay!
But then she composed herself. The new Harley Quinn had a lot to prove to her doctor, the people of Gotham, and most important, herself. Suddenly, a familiar voice surprised them. "Unhand me!" shouted Professor Jonathan Crane, also known as the Scarecrow. Dr. Leyland sighed. "I just wish the other inmates could make your sort of progress," she said to Harley. Out in the hallway, Batman and Robin were escorting Crane back into Arkham Asylum. After two orderlies took Crane away, Batman congratulated Harley on her release. Defiant as ever, she snapped at him. "Yeah, so I made a few mistakes," she admitted. "But I've got my head back together now, and I'm going to live my life right." Batman moved closer, his grip tightening. "For your sake, I hope so," he said sternly. Harley sighed. She had a lot to prove to Batman, too. The next day, the people of Gotham City gasped. There was a new terror in town. It had gnashing teeth, sharp claws, ferocious growls, and roller skates. Harley and her hounds had no problem clearing a path, and a problem was the last thing she wanted on her first day of freedom. But when she saw her reflection, she realized that she had a material problem indeed. Bruce Wayne always hated to try on clothes, but to his girlfriend Veronica Vreeland, that was no excuse for being out of fashion. Harley Quinn was as clumsy as she was curious. But Veronica thought that was no excuse at all for Harley to wrap herself in Bruce's arms. When Harley told her who she was, Veronica had heard enough. She dragged Bruce away, even though Harley told her she was cured. At the counter, Harley paid for her new dress. She knew she still had a lot to prove. If only people would give her a chance. That's not so much to ask, is it? Harley said as she rolled away. By mistake, the security tag was still stuck to her dress. Suddenly, she heard a painfully familiar sound. A security alarm. "Hey, what's the deal?" she screeched.
Impressive.
It was a deal, all right. A bad deal. And when life gave Harley lemons, she made bitter lemonade for everyone. With a whack of a mannequin's arm, Harley gave a security guard a taste of her sour vengeance. Outside, a shower of glass and mannequin parts crashed onto the sidewalk. Veronica waited by the car as Bruce raced back into the store. Bruce ran up to Harley's dressing room, pleading with her to come out so she could clear her name. But, true to her old reputation, Harley burst out of the stall, bedecked in wild black and red regalia, eyes ablaze, aching for anarchy. The reckless, explosive Harley Quinn was back, and now she had something else to prove entirely. Outside, Harley found the recipe for the perfect getaway. A fast car and a rich hostage. Of course, her devilish dogs were eager to join the fun. Within seconds, the end of Harley's new beginning was in high gear. The race to catch her was on. When Bruce saw Detective Bullock ready to lead the chase, he knew that only Batman could save Harley from finishing last with a life term at Arkham. Part 2. In Commissioner Gordon's office, General Freeland was furious. He wanted action, not good intentions. He wanted his daughter Veronica back safely. He didn't want to hear about standard police procedure. He wanted to give orders. The moment Gordon turned his back, the general telephoned for some military might. Meanwhile, Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson prepared to stop Harley as Batman and Robin. Like General Vreeland, Batman and Robin had their own procedure, but they also knew what it was like to be misunderstood, and they knew Harley better than anyone, maybe even better than she did herself. They agreed not to condemn her yet. Robin switched on the Batmobile scanner. Seconds after a blip flashed on the screen, Harley's getaway car raced by. Detective Bullock followed in hot pursuit.
Impressive.
Batman and Robin immediately joined the chase. Up ahead, Bullock tried his best to keep up with Harley's mindless maneuvers, but she kept eluding him. When he crashed his car again, the Batmobile passed. It made him even more determined to catch Harley first, but she wasn't about to stop. Not for Veronica's money, and not for Batman and Robin. Soon, though, something would sway her. Off Harley's trail, Batman and Robin checked their scanner again. The blip headed to Gotham's south side. Probably to someone who can hide her until the heat's off, Batman theorized. Sure enough, in a seedy warehouse, Harley was visiting the only person she knew who wasn't behind bars. But Boxy Bennett wasn't happy to see her. Like everyone else, he remembered her as a troublemaker. Harley needed Boxy's help, even if it meant smooching the fishy dice-throwing gangster. But for Boxy, sweetness only went so far. He wanted to ransom Veronica. When Harley refused, Boxy got meaner. When Boxy threatened Harley, Batman appeared. "You've stuck your cape into my business for the last time," Boxy barked at the Dark Knight.
Impressive.
Suddenly, a scaly rebuke knocked Boxy to the ground. Robin was there too. Boxy was embarrassed and infuriated. "Take 'em, boys," he yelled. Orders given, the thugs pursued Batman and Robin through the warehouse. But the henchmen had no idea what they were getting into. When it was all over, the warehouse floor was littered with ice, fish, and unconscious crooks.
Congratulations.
Meanwhile, as Harley tried to escape with her hostage, a hook-holding henchman stopped them. But his hardware was no match for Harley's cork-springing pop gun. Unfortunately, her toy was no match for the real thing. Mad and menacing, Boxy stood in their path. Harley had a secret weapon, though. Actually, she had two secret, very special weapons, and they were only a scream away. Part 3. Boxy may have been a tough guy, but to Harley's dogs, he was nothing but a choice chew toy. They were sorry to see him scramble free. Boxy's henchmen were tough too, but when they awakened they would realize that Batman and Robin were far tougher. As for Harley, well, at least Veronica had learned that her sad, clownish kidnapper was anything but hard-boiled inside. "Let's make a deal," Veronica said as they sped away. "You get me out of this alive and I'll drop any charges." Harley was amazed. It seemed like no one had ever given her an even break. Not the police, not Batman and Robin, not the criminal underworld, not even store clerks. But while Veronica struck a fair bargain, her father had planned another kind of strike.
Impressive.
Daddy or no daddy, Harley wasn't about to hand over her hostage. She knew none of her other pursuers were about to give up either. Once she made it to Gotham City Square, she was even more discouraged. At every turn, down every alley, around every corner, there seemed to be no escape. Finally, she saw an open intersection, but it was about to become very closed. Batman and Robin arrived to see everyone but Harley and Veronica crawling out of the rubble. The street looked like a junkyard. Suddenly, Veronica landed in Robin's arms. When everyone looked up, Harley was waving at them from up high.
Bye!
Batman quickly followed. Meanwhile, the General embraced his daughter. Robin had Boxy squirming on the pavement, and Detective Bullock, soaked and seething, got himself a true outlaw. High above Gotham Square, Batman searched for Harley. He wanted to help her. Suddenly she pounced on him from the dark, but he wouldn't fight. He would only talk, and Harley hated that. Higher up, she screamed at him. "I tried to be good, I really did. But if that's not good enough, fine." She pulled out a Joker bomb and yanked its pin. Let's get back to basics. Before she could hurl the terrible toy, Batman knocked it away with his batarang. The explosion sent Harley on a head-over-heels, stomach-turning tumble. From scaffold to billboard, from springy spoon to snapping straw, from frightening free fall to the safety of Batman's arms. Harley's final stunt convinced her she should give up. She collapsed over his shoulder, the final wreckage of her rampage strewn around them. Back at Arkham Asylum, Batman and Robin released Harley to Dr. Leland. There was good news, though. Just as she promised, Veronica had dropped the charges. When Dr. Leland heard how Harley had saved the woman from Boxy, she was sure that Harley could be released soon. For good. Best of all, Batman handed her the dress she tried to buy that morning. Harley was so happy, she gave Batman a kiss. And then another. When Harley saw her reflection, what did she decide to do?
You're so close. You're so close.
Impressive.
Do you really want to close this story? How did Boxy remember Harley?
You're so close.
Congratulations.
Who did Detective Bullock arrest?
You're so close. You're so close.
Congratulations.
Harley's perplexing path. Harley Quinn is good at finding trouble. To help her find the right path, you'll have to give her some pointers.
Don't press your luck.
All I'm looking for is
Don't press your luck. Don't press your luck.
you'll see I am just as sane as anybody.
You're so close.
Congratulations.
Bye!
Would you like to try another maze? Are you sure you want to leave Harley's perplexing path? Are you sure you want to exit Arkham Gallery and return to Windows?